Welcome, in front of me is a Motorola Moto G84, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at the device itself and its specs. So anyway, let's just get straight into it. So just have a single seal to cut off. There we go. Inside we get the device with a case pre-applied to it and some paper sticker. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's boot it up. And here we get some paperwork, SIM eject tool, and charger, surprisingly. That is a 33 watt charger, pretty good. And a cable type A to type C. So that's all we get in the box. Now, taking a quick look at the device without the case, we do have this leather-like back. I'm not sure if that's like vegan leather or whatever. It does have a leatherish feel to it, not like plastic. But the build of the device itself is on a lower side. So this looks like a plastic frame. And let's go over the display. So this is a 6.5 inch display with a 1080p resolution. It's a P OLED display, 1 billion colors, 120 Hz refresh rate, and a peak brightness of 1300 nits. So it can get pretty bright. So that's basically the screen specs. Now, for the people that don't really know what I just said, just to kind of summarize this, the display right here is actually pretty good. Color-wise, it will give you a very nice, vibrant looking colors. Also, the black levels here are basically going to be perfect because it is an OLED display, so anything that is fully black as a pixel just gets turned off. And also boasting 120 Hz refresh rate, meaning that anything that you'll be doing will be nice and buttery smooth on this device. Now, continuing on to the cameras at the back, we have a dual camera setup, and the main sensor is a 50 megapixel wide sensor f1.9 with an optical image stabilization. Then we got an 8 megapixel 2.2 120 Hertz 120 degree field of view ultra wide lens, and with those cameras you can shoot at 1080p 30 or 60 frames. And then at the front we got a 16 megapixel f2.5 wide lens that can shoot at 1080p 30 frames. So there we go. Now, continuing on into the internals, the device comes with a surprisingly 5000 mAh battery, surprisingly because it is a relatively thin device, as you can see. So we do have a pretty big battery in here. We also have a decent amount of RAM in here, being at 12 gigabytes with 256 gigabytes of storage running on UFS 2.2 storage type. So pretty decent for a for an entry, but this is also the only option that you get. Now, continuing on to the charging, it does have, like I said, 5000 mAh and 30 watt wireless charging, though it doesn't actually specify how quickly it will charge. There is no like advertising, so I can only speculate that it would get your device in up to like 50% in about 30 minutes. This is what you would typically be looking at with this kind of charging speeds. Now, last thing to say is that we do have a fingerprint sensor, even though this device seems a little bit more on the budget side. It is the under-display fingerprint sensor, so that is actually pretty interesting. And additionally, we do have a headphone jack at the bottom, right over here. Even though this device is relatively thin, they still managed to cram a headphone jack in here if you're still the type of person that is still using wired headphones or earbuds. Type-C charging port and a speaker next to it. And in the tray, let's see if I can pop it out. Here we have expandable storage, so you get dual SIM support or SIM and SD card, which is obviously going to allow you to expand your storage past like the default 256. Anyway, continuing on, sorry for that. we have... Actually, I think that's about it. That basically sums it up. Oh, alright, one last thing that I didn't mention, which is the processor in here being a Snapdragon 695 5G, which is lower, more towards like the low end of the processors. Now, for all of that, you get to pay about $390 US, so close to 400. And to be completely honest, I think this is a little bit overpriced for what you get for your money. So if you don't mind looking into other devices that are, for instance, from China, I mean, being sold obviously in Europe and like rest of the world, but particularly Xiaomi. This is one of the phones that I tend to recommend quite a lot because it offers a fairly good value for your money, costing about $360 US, so cheaper than this, while actually offering significantly more for your money than this. And just to kind of give you a quick rundown the specs, you do have an AMOLED display, 120 Hz refresh rate, HDR10+, 1000 at peak brightness, 5000 mAh battery, Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2, so that's going to be a significant bump up over this one, from 8 to 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage on a faster storage type, with also expandable storage and better cameras. So just quickly going over those, everything that I listed is basically primarily better, minus the display type. It has an AMOLED compared to the OLED that you get right here. So OLED will be nicer, but it's a very unnoticeable difference, I would say, if you don't have each of the devices side by side. So highly recommend checking out the Poco F5 instead of this one if you're looking for something that is better bang for your buck. Now with this being said, hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.